Hey everyone! It can be easy to think that mechanics are super important in League, but I've always told you that they aren't, and that game knowledge and decision making can carry you to Diamond or even Masters on their own. Well, I came up with an idea that could potentially prove this, where it's basically the reverse of a Challenger earpiece type of video. I had a gold player coach me and tell me exactly what I should do while I play a game of Garen in top lane. When to trade, when to recall, when to push or not, everything basically. So it's like a gold player having the mechanics of a Challenger, but the decision making and game knowledge of gold. Let me show you what happened. And just so you know, the full game and so much more is available over at SkillCap on our live commentaries page. We have over 1,000 videos just on this page alone, which teach you how to smurf, and you're guaranteed a response by the challengers to all questions asked every week. We also have an additional 1,500 premium guides just like this one, spread across over 80 challenger tailored courses. Anyways, let's get back to it. So right away at level 1, we had two problems. First, listen to the exchange him and I had. So should I try to push for level 2?
Sure.
So I should hit minions?
As long as you get all three, it's fine. Attack, auto attack, and just E.
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
So he told me to start E, which isn't right. Starting Q is much better, as it's an auto reset, does a big chunk of damage right away, and silences so Riven can't use her other Qs when she jumps in. Starting E makes no sense. Also, the person coaching me is a Garen main. This is the lack of game knowledge I'm talking about. The second problem was he didn't say anything about hitting minions for level 2, when that's a really important part of any lane. I tried to nudge him in the right direction by asking, but he just wasn't really sure what to say except, sure. I win lane in low elo 99% of the time in the first 3 levels because players don't know how to play at this stage, and it sets up how the rest of the lane will go. In this game, since I had the wrong ability level 1 and didn't get level 2 first, I have to sit back and let Riven push with nothing I can do about it. This is a big deal because now she could recall and buy a longsword and come back to lane with an item advantage before I could crash the wave and recall myself. If we skip ahead about 30 seconds, we're in a situation where she has that item advantage I just talked about, but I have a big wave. Let's listen into what my coach says. So I should use my E on this wave?
Yep. Full heart shove.
Okay. Just walk up and use it?
Yep.
He told me to just use my E on the wave with Riven right there. This isn't what I want to do at all, because if I do that, Riven can just fight me. What I should be doing is pushing the wave without abilities, using my big minion wave to help me, and if Riven tries to be aggressive, I can defensively trade, which I will win because of the massive wave. But I didn't listen fast enough, and then Riven walked up like this, missing her W.
Yep. Trade with her. Auto QE.
So I won that trade barely, even though Riven missed her W, her last Q, and auto-attacked minions. So I should have lost. Eventually, the Riven just jumps in like this while being leveled down and having no minions, so it was a really free kill. But you can see how my coach almost threw the entire lane because they didn't know how to play in that situation. When I got back to lane, I'm really far ahead, and I go for a trade onto the Riven like this. As my E was ending, I asked, should I keep fighting?
Back off. Your cooldown's off.
Interesting, okay. This was totally the wrong call, as I could have just killed the Riven there. My Q was coming up and I only needed 2 autos in my Q with my ult to kill her, so it was a free kill down the drain. Right after that, Riven jumps in, trolling again though.
Q, ignite ult. Oof.
I did the exact combo he said, and she lived just barely. I knew she would live from this, and if I was playing that on my own, of course I would use Q, then E, and then ult if I needed it. I wouldn't waste ignite for such a free kill, but my coach was thinking, how do I get the kill as fast as possible? Instead of just realizing she's trolling and not overthinking it. We end up diving her after that though anyways. As I get back to lane, at this point, the Riven just keeps killing herself by jumping into my wave when she has no minions, so it's free kills. This is where more problems come up though. Listen first to what my coach wants me to do.
Keep shoving.
Okay.
Grab plate, grab tower.
Take the whole tower?
Yep.
I made sure to clarify and ask him if I should take the whole tower, because if I were calling the shots, I would recall after 1 plate. There's no reason to stay right now and risk fighting when it's only 9 minutes in, so we have plenty of time for plates, Riven is almost back to lane, and I have a lot of gold to spend. There's literally no reason to take the risk. It's better to recall and spend my gold to continue snowballing as hard as possible. Watch what happens.
Proxy.
Okay. What do I do here?
E. Oh. Yep, just fight her. EW. Q. Out.
So you can see here that I got into a fight with Riven with an entire can wave there, so she could have fought me easily. She just doesn't know what she's doing. On top of this, what if the enemy mid roamed up here? The risk was just way too high. I end up taking the tower though, and clearing a wave quickly. Now at this point, I would recall, because the incoming enemy wave is a cannon wave, meaning it will beat the non-cannon wave I have with me. So I won't miss any CS while I'm recalling, the waves will start pushing back to me. If the enemy wave wasn't a cannon, I would try to take one more. Either way, it's risky though, because I didn't take a recall earlier like I should have, so I'm sitting on a ton of gold. But my coach wants me to push one more, so...
You can flash away. Oof.
Now that the laning is over, let's get into the mid game and macro focus stuff. This is where my coach really exposed where they're lacking and why they're struggling to climb. First, he has me push out top wave to the enemy tier 2. This is fine and I would do the same. Then he has me take the enemy team's raptors, even though everyone is fighting a dragon. What would you do here if you were me? Obviously the raptors aren't the correct choice, and we'll get into why in a bit. But would you push mid or run to the dragon fight? The correct choice was to push mid and try to take mid tower. And it's all because of what we call tempo. This is something that my coach wasn't understanding throughout the entire game. So when I pushed top lane to their tier 2, Riven was there to collect that wave. While she's doing that, I have a tempo advantage because I can move before her. Let's say it's a 10-second tempo advantage because it would take her 10 seconds to clear that wave and start moving to where I go. With that, I can push mid and use Demolish to take some tower plates. But when I do Raptors, I'm wasting my entire tempo advantage to take one jungle camp. So when I pushed mid wave after the Raptors, Riven was here to stop me from taking plates. Also, the reason why I don't want to go to Dragon is, our mid laner Annie is dead already, so the risk is way too high at the Dragon. You only go to Dragons if it's a free teamfight win where you'll get kills. But anyways, listen into what happens next. Now what?
You can kill her on the turret, kill her, and then grab...
Kill on the tower?
Yep.
Okay.
Ignite. Oh. Oh, miss. Q flash. Yep.
So he wanted me to dive the Riven under tower, which was possible. The problem is, the entire enemy team was right there at Dragon. So what should I have done? Well, let's take what we just learned about tempo advantages and apply it here. I pushed mid and Riven came to collect the wave. So now I have a tempo advantage. So I could have ran to top lane while she was doing that and pushed the wave to their tier 2 again without taking jungle camps on the way. Then, if I can do it fast enough, I can either try to take the tower or try to go into the jungle and kill Riven as she rotates back to top lane. Do you see how important understanding tempo is and how much better these options were? That's what good macro looks like. But a little bit later, we're in a very similar situation where I push the top waves in like this. Let's listen to what my coach wanted me to do.
Wrap around.
Go for Kai'Sa?
Yep.
Okay. Where'd she go? Now where?
Grab chicken, then mid.
He wanted me to go for Kai'Sa, then take the enemy Raptors, then go to mid lane. All three of these were completely wrong calls. In the previous situation, leaving top to go to mid with the tempo advantage was correct, because I didn't have ult at the time, so it wasn't possible to dive the Riven. But this time, I had ult, had ignite, and she's easily diveable. If I dive her, I get 300 gold and then another 600 gold from the tier 2 tower, so basically 3 kills. And we know she doesn't have flash from the dive in mid earlier, so it's a foolproof plan. She can't outplay a Garen combo. Instead, he has me run across the map for a kill I should never get, then do Raptors. Remember guys, jungle camps are literally at the very bottom of the priority list. You only do them when you have nothing else. About 1 minute later, he finally has me do this exact thing, and as you can see, it's a really free kill. But here's the problem this time. Before, we knew exactly where everyone on the enemy team was, so after getting the Riven kill, I could just take the tower. This time though, Wukong just came back to life and should be coming right for me now. I knew this, but my coach on the other hand isn't tracking everyone like I am, so... See how every macro situation can be different depending on the information you have? Alright, so because of the poor macro choices, this game that I could have ended at like 20 to 25 minutes ends up lasting 40 entire minutes. It doesn't help that this ding dong coaching me had moments like this. Should I try to kill her?
Yep. Oh.
The announcer definitely didn't just tell us they were at Herald, so this was trolling. Alright guys, so I'm not going to go through the entire game of course, but you can see how the mechanics here didn't really matter at all. My coach just didn't give me the steps to snowball my lead properly, so the game lasts 40 minutes long for no reason at all. Alright guys, remember, you can find the full game over at Skill-Capped and so much more that'll help you climb way faster and easier than anywhere else. So be sure to check us out. Thanks for watching.